Welcome, everybody, to Gratitude Tips from the EFR, which is Employee and Family Resources. My name is Bud Wassell. I'm the coordinator of EFR and do a number of mindfulness-related classes, stress-related, and that, of course, includes gratitude. So today we're going to do gratitude tips, some ideas to kind of kickstart our 10 days of gratitude. We're part of the overall effort throughout the health system. So you probably saw we're having the webinar today, but I'll go over the rest of the 10 days that we're going to be providing you. But again, welcome. So glad you could join me, and I'm very grateful for you to be here. So moving on. So the 10 days of gratitude, you've probably seen the events. I am going to have our EFR related things posted on Thrive. I'll show you in a minute how to get there if you're not sure. This recording will be posted there. The slides will be posted there. There is something to do for you for every day. There's going to be a couple of live webinars. There's a recorded gratitude break. There's a guide that you can link to, a very comprehensive guide. Very helpful if you really want to learn more specific skills about developing your own gratitude. There's some information on the science and the benefits. I mentioned the break. There's a link to a gratitude meditation that's on our EFR website. And there's a number of tip sheets for you to try as well. So a number of things, really with the whole point of it, giving you a few things that you can try to see that work for you. The best way to make this work, and all the research points to this, is to keep it going. Try to develop a practice so that you can really turn your mindset. Talk in a minute about that, how it can be helpful to turn from a negative to a positive mindset. This is where you find our information for employee and family resources, also this gratitude webinar on Thrive. You go to departments and communities there and go over to T, you'll see Thrive, and that opens up to this whole thing. The EFR information is under My Wellbeing. The gratitude 10 days from EFR is under Live and Recorded Resources. Now, this is going to be pretty quick. It's only a half an hour, so I'm going to go through this fairly quickly. But we do have a negativity bias. You know, our brains have been hardwired in a sense because of evolution to put more weight on negative events compared to positive events. Now, you may be thinking, well, I'm kind of an optimistic person. I focused on positivity, and that's great. My point simply is that we tend to focus on the negative as a way to be aware of threats and dangerous things. We have to be, right? And unfortunately, in our world today, there's no shortage. There's plenty. If you just turn on the news or you follow any of the current world events, those all reinforce the negativity bias tremendously. And it's very difficult to get out of that. So gratitude is one of the ways to do that. It's one of the most effective ways to counteract the negativity bias, this tendency to focus on more negative events. And we really do have to relearn this in a sense. The more we practice these things, the stronger those pathways in our actual brain get. And you'll see here, I'll talk just a little bit about some of the benefits, but gratitude is one of the highest studied areas of positive psychology. So there's lots and lots of studies. It's very much evidence-based. How gratitude practices can really help us with all these things that you see listed there, making us happier. There's terrific effects for our emotional well-being, more likely to exercise, kind of an interesting outcome. Of course, enhancing our relationships, higher emotional intelligence, improving sleep. I think that's a huge one. And if you think about it, it kind of makes sense. The more we're focused on and thinking about the difficult things, the negative things, those are going to keep us awake. So gratitude, again, the more we practice it, can help us overturn that negative mindset into a positive mindset. There is a link there, so if you want to follow up with the slides as I post them, you can watch that video. It goes to an article on mindful.org. You can also find it directly there, called The Amazing Effects of Gratitude. So Brene Brown, this is her quote, and I think this is really so important, such an important point about gratitude. I don't have to chase extraordinary moments to find happiness. Sometimes it's right in front of me if I'm paying attention and practicing gratitude. So what that really means is that sometimes we think about happiness as being tied to the big, huge events in our lives, getting that perfect job, getting the house that we'd like to live in, having a great relationship. All those things, yes, they're super important, but we tie so much of our happiness to those. And what she's saying here is it's the small things. It's the everyday things that we can learn to pay attention to. And that's what we're really going to focus on today. So just going to give you some prompts as you look through this list. Just start thinking about one or two or three things that you're grateful for. And again, they could be really small things, and you can write them down if you have the opportunity to do that, or even just kind of start sort of a mental list of some things. And again, maybe this list gives you some ideas that some things or some people or some events, some situations in your life that you're grateful for. And as you can see, there are some things that are, small and everyday, some things that we go through and we encounter on our daily travels. Kind of give you a minute to take a look at that. Get a couple things in mind. We're going to do a practice in a minute, and I'm going to ask you to bring up a couple of these things, and we're going to focus in on those for a moment or so during this reflection meditation that we'll do. Another quote, sometimes we should express our gratitude for the small and simple things, like the scent of the rain, taste of your favorite food, or the sound of a loved one's voice. So another reminder of, we're in the perfect season right now in spring with all the trees leafing out and beautiful spring colors. And, we have plenty of rain for sure, but today happens to be a nice sunny day. So whatever it is, as you look outside, or hopefully you get outside a little bit, you begin to appreciate those small little things that can be so important to us. So at this point, what I'd like to do is just lead you through a guided meditation, a gratitude meditation. I will show you later on a few other sources that you can go to if you want to continue practicing this. And actually, we're going to have one more live webinar, which will be on a week from Thursday, or a week from tomorrow. And that will be really focused on how you can continue some of the gratitude practices that you've tried, how you can continue to make them an ongoing routine. And again, that's where you get the most ongoing long-term benefits from. All right, so let's do our gratitude practice. And this is easy. It's not difficult to do this. All you have to do is really follow my instructions. But we're going to start with some basic mindful and meditation techniques for just getting ourselves centered and gathering our attention, sort of as a way to let go of all the other stuff that's going on. And if you're multitasking at the moment, many of us do, I would say put aside those other things that you're working on. This will only take 5, 6, 7 minutes, okay? So come to a position. This could be sitting, it could be standing, it could even be laying down, whatever is most comfortable for you. The idea is to be kind to your body. So find a really comfortable position where you can be still for the next few minutes. If you want to stretch a little bit before we settle in, you can go right ahead and do that. That sometimes helps. If you've been sitting for a long period of time, stretch it out a little bit. And just take a moment to bring your attention into the body. Just notice the connection that your body makes with the surface beneath you. You can also close your eyes as we do this. Sometimes it helps to turn inward But you don't have to. If you prefer, you can keep your eyes slightly open with a downward gaze at a spot in front of you. Either way is fine. So staying with being aware of our body as it sits. Let's say we're sitting, noticing the contact your feet make with the ground beneath you, feeling that sense of contact, exploring that for a moment. Being aware of the weight of the body as it sits. Let the weight of the body kind of sink into the chair, or if you're standing, just allow the body to relax. Let the weight of the body give itself up to gravity. And then notice other parts of the body. You might notice the hands and arms resting comfortably. Let them be at ease, wherever they're most comfortable. Let your shoulders relax. Let the muscles in your jaw and your face relax. And now bring your attention to your breathing. And all you need to do is just be aware of the breath flowing in and out of the body. Perhaps feeling the sensations of the in-breath and the out-breath. That's all you have to do. Just allow yourself to relax right now. Take this time for yourself. We're just establishing some mindful attention and awareness before we move on to the gratitude part. The other tip is that if your mind wanders, and that will happen, that's not a problem. It's to be expected, really, so don't worry about that. When you notice that your mind wanders or your attention has been pulled somewhere else, just simply be aware of that and gently bring your attention back to the breath or the body as an anchor, as a home base for this period of meditation. So let's now think about those things that we're grateful for, starting with the small things, okay? Just what were a few of the things that maybe came to your mind as I suggested before? They might seem small and insignificant, but maybe just noticing those simple little things, the smell of coffee or tea this morning as you were taking that coffee break, hopefully, or the taste of food at lunch, or the beauty of nature, perhaps as maybe you got outside or looking out the window at some flowers, or the richness of the green colors in the grass and the trees. A genuine smile from somebody, the sound of the voice of a loved one. Whatever it is, just take a moment and let yourself savor each item. Let it land, noticing what it can be like to simply acknowledge your gratitude. In a sense, becoming easily pleased. For example, I find myself feeling gratitude for fresh water that flows out of the tap and into the drain in a heartbeat, but brings joy and satisfaction, allows me to wash my hands or to have a cool drink of water. And in a moment, it's gone. Or some of the many other conveniences that we enjoy in modern life. Consider some of the sources of those little things you feel grateful for. Again, with the water analogy, where did it come from? It fell from the sky, gathered in creeks and streams, then rivers and lakes, perhaps evaporated and rained again. and gathered somewhere and entered into the pipes that came into the house and let the water out of the tap and then into the drain and was gone. All of the people, all of the causes and conditions that brought that simple, very important and necessary thing to us that we often take for granted. Just take a moment to appreciate that. So, what are you grateful for? To whom are you grateful? Perhaps acknowledging the people, known and unknown, that contributed to this experience. Perhaps there was a person that you thought of before, or you can bring up now, a person who has supported you, a friend or a family member, or a mentor or a teacher, someone that's helped you out. And why are you grateful to them? Dig a little deeper. What were the circumstances? Or it might be something in your life, your home or your car, or something that gives you warmth and comfort. Just take a moment and appreciate those things. What would life be like without them? Perhaps a quality of yours, something you did for someone, a kind gesture to help them out. How did it make you feel? Quality of yours that you appreciate. Take a moment to savor that. And perhaps coming back to that person you thought of before, somebody who helped you out, supported you, was there for you. Maybe making an intention to thank them, writing them an email or a text or a card or something like that to express your gratitude. We've covered a number of things. If it's hard to bring some things up that you're grateful for, that's okay too. Maybe making an intention to focus more on looking for some things that you could be grateful for. The more you do this, the more things become apparent, the more you're aware of things that you're grateful for. Maybe make an intention to try to continue this practice for some time, to develop your gratitude. So we can let go of all those images and thoughts and feelings, and for a moment, just reconnecting with your breath. Breath in, a breath out, perhaps even just being aware and very appreciative of the breath, of your body, all that it does for you. When you're ready, if your eyes have been closed, you can slowly open them and finish that practice. And again, I appreciate your presence. We still have a few more minutes. I'm going to go over a couple of things and suggestions and ways that you can continue this. If you'd like to put into the Q&A, I'd love to hear what your experience of that. Here are just some quick suggestions, quick pauses that you can do throughout the day. Breathe deep and appreciate being alive. So really getting in touch with the breath. Feeling the breath, appreciating all that it does for you. The ability to relax when you need to. Take some deep breaths. Scanning your body and noticing what's good about your body. Sometimes we think about what we don't like about our body, what's not working so well. So Take some time to appreciate what you like about your body, what's working for you. It's a great gratitude pause. Savor those pleasant moments, even the small ones, whatever it is. Stop and smell the roses. Take a moment, meaning 10, 20, 30 seconds to let it sink in. Give yourself that time so that it can absorb, sort of in the sense you marinate in. Allow yourself to really get in touch with it. So stop, sense whatever it is, appreciate it, and then move on. That can make a difference. Maybe take some gratitude photos. Some folks even create a gratitude album in their phone. Keep those photos in one place that you can return to. It's another idea. And then getting back to other people that you're grateful for. Who are you grateful for? Why are you grateful for them? Maybe jot that down, maybe sending them off a quick note about why you feel that way can make you and them feel better. So those are just some quick pauses to try. This is another quick practice that you can try called the 3 Good Things practice from the Greater Good in Action. I think there was originally a study done on that. It's referenced in the link here if you want to follow up on that. But again, in our day-to-day lives, it's easy to get caught up in the things that go wrong. So at the end of your workday or at the end of the day, sometimes we find ourselves reviewing kind of the things that didn't go so well. So this practice is all about noting the 3 things that went well during the day. So each day for at least a week, longer if you can, write down 3 things that went well for you that day. Or text them or share them with somebody. Maybe come up with a gratitude buddy, something like that. And what they found in the study is that when people did this for 2 weeks, it had a lasting effect on their health and well-being for up to 3 to 6 months. Really quite amazing when you think about it. So that's the 3 Good Things practice. That's something else that you can try. So I have a question here. What can you do to avoid having your mind wander during this exercise, particularly something that bothers you? I do appreciate writing things down regularly to focus your mind. So that's a great question. You know, I think the answer to that is just to notice that. So the idea of having an anchor in our meditation or mindfulness practice, when your mind wanders, we're kind of retraining our attention. So every time the mind wanders, notice what it's wandered off to, acknowledge it, say, oh, okay, there was a worry thought or memory or something off the to-do list. Just acknowledge it. Don't engage with it. That's the trick. Don't follow it and engage with it. Acknowledge it, let it go, and bring your focus back to your anchor. Now, your anchor could be your breath, like we just did, or your body, feeling anchored in the chair or wherever you are, or it could even be a sound. You know, it could be some music. It could be candlelight, any number of things. We use the breath and the body because they're always with us, so that's a great way to do that. Writing some things down, journaling some things, I think that's a great idea that you mentioned there, so that's a great way to focus. But in this day and age, unfortunately, our focus is scattered. You know, our attention is easily eroded and pulled by so many things. So it kind of takes us a little extra effort to refocus, and that's again part of the practice. Now you can put that together with gratitude and focusing on something that you're grateful for. So that's a great way to kind of refocus on that thing that you're taking note of in the moment. So that's my suggestion. I do think that taking some time to really practice that makes a difference, even in brief, informal ways. That's why I try to give you some quick practices to try. Good question. If there's any other questions, let me know. Here is a great quote from Brother David Steindl-Rast. He's with a great website called gratefulness.org. It's not happiness that makes us grateful. It's gratefulness that makes us happy. And this, again, comes out in the studies. So often we have it reversed. We think that we'll be happy when we get that particular condition that we're hoping for. You know, the better house, the better car, the better job, or whatever it is, we think we'll be happy then. Yes, we do get a brief happiness boost, but it's the practice of gratefulness on a day-to-day basis, and that's why it's so profound in a way that we can focus on the small things that can really make a difference. And as you see, there are 3 links there, so if you want to follow those, those are brief YouTube and TED Talks that you might want to check into. All right. So moving on, we're just about towards the end. And as Oprah Winfrey said, be thankful for what you have. You'll end up having more. If you concentrate on what you don't have, you will never, ever have enough. So there's lots of stuff out there on gratitude. We do have the 10 days of gratitude coming up. This is our EFR information. The information that I mentioned, this is the EFR website, the carillonwellbeing.com/YNHHS. There are a number of things right now on that homepage related to Mental Health Awareness Month, but also there's a whole section on gratitude if you want to follow that up as well. And then also, again, on the 10 days of gratitude, there will be a number of things that you can try. And hopefully that will help you get into the routine so that you can begin that practice and strengthen your own gratitude muscle. So with that, I'll say thanks so much for joining me today. And any last questions before we finish up? Okay, well, feel free to reach out to me. I'm in the email system if you have a follow-up question or anything I can help with. If you have questions about any of this whatsoever, please reach out. Thank you all for being here and grateful for your presence. Take good care. Be well. Be grateful.